Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harold Palmer, and I am the board director of Health is Life. I am here to propose a new public health policy on tobacco. We believe the issue that we will be presenting today will give you a better understanding of how our public health policy will help the community and eventually be adopted statewide. This issue has not only affected the public health, but has become a public epidemic. We must not only introduce new policies, but educate on the matter at hand. The effect of smoking is serious. It does not only harm every organ of the body, but can affect secondhand smokers as well. It causes nearly one of every 5 deaths in the United States each year, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Tobacco affects the brain, mouth, heart, lungs, muscles, and because of its deadly effect on the body, it also can lead to chronic illnesses. This is why we are here to propose a smoke free policy. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, each day more than 3,200 people under 18 smoke their first cigarette, and approximately 2,100 youth and young adults become daily smokers. 9 out of 10 smokers start before the age of 18, and 98% start smoking by the age of 26. 1 in 5 adults and teenagers smoke. In 2011, an estimate of 19% of U.S. adults were cigarette smokers. Approximately 18% of high school students smoke cigarettes. In 2011, nearly 18 of the high school boys were currently cigar users. From 1964 to 2014, the proportion of adult smokers declined from 42% to 18% for adults. This decline is due to the understanding of what smoking causes. The list of diseases caused by smoking has been expanded to include abdominal aortic aneurysm, acute myeloid leukemia, cataract, cervical cancer, kidney cancer, pancreatic cancer, pneumonia, and stomach cancer. These are in addition to diseases previously known to be caused by smoking, including bladder, esophageal, laryngeal, lung, oral, and throat cancer, chronic lung disease, coronary heart, and cardiovascular diseases, as well as reproductive effects and sudden infant death syndrome. We will discuss a few of these causes in this proposal. Smoking increases heart rate and blood pressure. Cigarette smoking approximately doubles the risk for stroke. Cigarette smoking causes reduced circulation by narrowing the blood vessel. Smokers are more than 10 times as likely as non-smokers to develop peripheral vascular disease. Smoking causes abdominal aortic aneurysms. Cancer is the second leading cause of death and was among the first disease causally linked to smoking. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death, and the cigarette smoking causes most cases. Nearly 9 out of 10 lung cancers are caused by smoking. Compared to non-smokers, men who smoke are about 23 times more likely to develop lung cancer, and women who smoke are about 13 times more likely to develop the cancer. Smoking causes about 90% of lung cancer deaths in men and almost 80% in women. According to the U.S. Department of Health, those are the figures. According to the Surgeon General reported 2004, adds more evidence to previous conclusions that smoking causes cancer within the oral cavity, pharynx, larynx, esophagus, lung, and bladder. Women smokers are up to 40 times more likely to develop COPD, which is a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, than women who have never smoked. Nearly 8 out of 10 COPD deaths are as a result of smoking. Currently, there's no cure for COPD. Smoking increases a person's risk of getting tuberculosis and dying from it. More than 11% of high school students in the United States have asthma, and students suggest that youth who smoke are more likely to develop the asthma. Let's move on to the secondhand smoking. Babies, more than 100,000 of smoking caused deaths over the last 50 years were of babies who died from SIDS. And this is secondhand smoking. More than 400,000 babies born in the U.S. every year are expected to chemicals are exposed to. More than 400,000 babies in the U.S. every year are exposed to chemicals in cigarettes smoking before birth because their mothers smoke. In babies aged 18 months and younger in the United States, secondhand smoke exposed is responsible for 150,000 to 300,000 new cases of bronchitis and pneumonia annually. Approximately 7,500 and 15,000 hospitalizations annually. Babies secondhand smoke. Babies who breathe secondhand smoke are sick more often with bronchitis, pneumonia, and ear infections. Children are at particular risk for exposing to secondhand smoke. The causes of these children who are exposed to these secondhand smokes are ear infection, more frequent and severe asthma attacks, respiratory issues including coughing, sneezing, and shortness of breath, respiratory infections including bronchitis and pneumonia, and increased risk of sudden infant death syndrome, as we talked about. We ask why smoking is harmful. More than 16 million people already have at least one disease from smoking. More than 20 million Americans have died because of smoking since 1964, including approximately 2.5 million deaths due to exposure to secondhand smoke. 86 million people live with a serious illness called smoking. On average, smokers die 13 to 14 years earlier than non-smokers. These cases should be taken serious, and as a public health advocate of Life is Health, we are proposing a policy that details our goal in having a tobacco-free society. Tobacco is a highly addictive substance that causes disease and death. The Life is Health Association supports measures to prevent tobacco use by children and youth, to eliminate exposure to secondhand smoke, to promote access to cessation treatments, and to discourage tobacco use in the population through legislation, regulation, logistics, media advocacy, and education. We propose to increase tax significantly on tobacco to discourage consumption and promote cessation. According to intervention for sale of tobacco products must be required. Tobacco self-serve display and vending machines must be eliminated. Increase in license on tobacco retailers. Those who sell to minors must face strict financial penalties and loss of license. Enforcement of these laws must be diligently pursued. The minimum age of sale for tobacco products should be increased to 20. Tobacco product sample and promotion must be prohibited. Tobacco industry brand merchandised must be eliminated. Flavored tobacco must be prohibited. Mail order, internet promotion, and other marketing mechanisms for tobacco products must be prohibited. Tobacco use should be eliminated from new movies, especially movies intended for children, teens, and general audience. All tobacco products must be regulated. The manufacturing, sale, distributing, leading, marketing, and promoting of all electronic nicotine delivery systems, commonly known as e-cigarettes, must be regulated by Food and Drug Regulation or Administration. The Life is Health Association supports measures to eliminate the tobacco industry targeting youth, women, communities of color, LGBT communities, the economically disadvantaged, and other populations. We require all public housing agencies to implement a policy prohibiting the smoking of tobacco products. In all public housing living units, interior areas, and outdoor areas within 25 feet of public housing and administration buildings, except in designating smoking areas. In 2020, we expect a smoke-free policy within all companies, as well as sales and public areas, with hopes to save the lives of our great community. Thank you. And if you have any questions, we will be accepting them shortly. Have a nice day.